Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Autopsy with Maddee P. I'm your host, Maddee P. This week, girl, I'm finna be an auntie. My best friend is going into labor right now. So I am making this podcast so that I can edit it and do stuff in the hospital. So I'm in complete disarray right now. And after this, I need to pack a bag and I need to get myself together because we having a little girl. Oh my God, you guys, I cannot. It is crazy watching your friend make a baby and it's crazy. I'm just so proud of her. I just can't believe that our bodies function in this way. And our hips widen during periods. And then all of a sudden our bodies are preparing themselves to give birth. Sorry. Girl, I cannot wait to watch you doo-doo on yourself. And I thought I'd be really nervous when my bestie asked me to go into her delivery room. I was like, oh God, this is going to be great, but I'm a little bit scared. Let me say, our sweet little baby girl is coming a little bit early, a little bit sooner than planned, a lot of it, kind of. So we're just haymake right now. And I could not feel more prepared in my life. I am not worried about what I will see in here. I am just so excited to meet her. And I'm just so excited for her mom to finally meet her and for her to be in this world and a part of us and with us every day. And hello. Anyways, so welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. One day I'll have a baby. I secretly want one, but I also secretly don't. Anyways, I can't have a baby because they're going to see me on the internet looking a fool. So I don't think I should have one per the state. This week, we're talking about 5 p.m. Queen. We are going to talk about cravings and the actual reality of sobriety. And I guess I'll start because we don't have a quote this week. And my warm up is, hey, I'm here because I'm a midwife now and I'm freaking and I need to get this podcast done. So we don't have any warm ups because we're in go mode right now. Anywho. Or quotes, but I will start with an analogy that I came across on TikTok, our Lord and Savior, Miss TikTok, the queen herself. A girl posted, this is her username. Sober Bridge is her username. And she discusses that a fun way to look at addiction in the brain. And it helped me a lot because it clicked. A lot of things clicked in my brain when I heard this. But essentially, we need food, water, and air to survive, right? If you take a patient after 3 days, no water, you put them in an MRI, the water touches their lips, in their brain, the craving. God, sorry guys, I'm so distracted by the baby right now. The craving center is about the size of a baseball. If you do hunger, size of the basketball. If you take someone who has been out of their addiction for about a year, so around a year, their craving is the size of a baseball field. A baseball field. Thirsty for 3 days is a baseball. Because you can die from thirst in 3 days. So literally deathly levels of thirst. Do you guys get what maybe I shouldn't be doing this podcast, but do you guys get what I'm saying by that? Anyways, this heavily clicked in my brain. The second I heard this, it made me understand, because I shared before that, okay, I thought now I'm living with this new philosophy that life is better this way, guys. You know what? I'm trill. I'm so trill without drugs and alcohol. It's just who I am. No, it's not. And this shit is hard as fuck for me. And I want to talk about the realness of it, because just because you're sober and you get sober doesn't mean that your life is going to change or that your cravings are going to go away. We find a new place. Sorry, my volume is on in case any labor-like things happen. I feel bad. If I have cravings, I did. I felt bad about it, and I felt like I wasn't either doing my work or taking care of myself or listening to people the way I should. This is how my brain operates. I'm an addict. I still crave alcohol. I still crave drugs, more so alcohol. But I didn't just escape that. And you didn't just escape it either. Your brain feels like it needs liquor, needs it, as if it's food, water, air. It needs it to survive. That's how we've tricked our mind into believing. And I think it gives me a lot of peace to know that I don't have to fight this battle silently, and that we all, as addicts and alcoholics, have the same mindset. And it's not bad. It's not bad that you crave alcohol. So, and again, I don't want to use this episode as a means of deterring people. I just want to be real and talk about my experience, strength, and hope, like we've stated before. And it's like, the way it works is like, we still have this craving, right? We still have this literal baseball field worth of craving in our mind, which is crazy to me. Like anyways. So we still crave, but we're learning that it's more important to live a happy and healthy life, and that craving is just going to have to exist in us, because the other alternative is torture and or death or asylum or whatever that end game might look like for you and your disease. And I think it's different for everyone. This happier, healthier life must be obtained now. And that's where it kind of flips, and that's how we're able to get away from the baseball field just a little bit. In the nicest way possible, without trying to deter you, I do still wonder, is this better? Is this pain that I'm going through while escaping cravings daily, is this better? It is. It is, by a lot. And I would much rather choose this life of craving that will hopefully eventually subside, or I figure out, like I said, how to live a happy and healthy life, or I suffer. The clarity that you understand that I'm not even sure if this is better at times. It obviously is, but this is the way my mind functions. And I oftentimes, honestly, wonder, the pain of this is so synonymous. The pain of release and the pain of remaining, especially in really early stages, are very synonymous. And our brain is just in a state, like we've talked about, where it wants relief once again. And it will go to any length to get that, including destroying every shred of dignity that you have that still holds on to the fact that a happy, healthier life is better. And those cravings can shred you to a point that sometimes you can't see that anymore. What you gain, and for me, half of it is standing against my brain. That's like the reward for me. Like those really hard times where it does feel like it's nearly, the craving is literally shredding at me daily, and I'm fighting back, and it just feels like it's shredding. Like during those hard periods of life when I lost Al and some other, honestly, these past few weeks have been hard for me. I win over my brain every day. Every day that I choose to stay sober is a day that I win over my brain, and I win over the shredding. And that's why I feel like we can be honest about it, because I'm not trying to deter you. I'm trying to illustrate that we do have the power to overcome our greatest enemy, which is self, and for it to be worth every moment. And I just want to do it honestly. And I want to talk about a little bit my cravings. When I have them, they are pretty intense and a little bit out of nowhere. For the most part, they're kind of out of nowhere. I can't calculate them, and it's not even based on person, place, or thing. It just happens. But when it does occur, my brain has gotten to a point, and I try to make it a really big point, that it shuts off, and there is no romanticizing. There is no thinking what would happen if it did hit my lips. There's no going past that. And I don't mean I've necessarily utilized my tools. I'm not saying I called someone, I did what I was supposed to do, and it's now gone. I'm talking about in the exact moment, before I even have time to pick up the phone, the exact moment I get my first trigger and what that looks like, my brain does shut off. I get really kind of emotional after, and it's just sadness. It's almost like something is just kind of gone that never came a little bit. And so in the after effects is where I call people or do what I need to do according to the trigger and according to the situation. But it shuts off. I'm so thankful for this. I don't know how this started, and I think a lot of it is meditation, and training myself in other aspects of in terms of my defects, maybe, where I've had to train this thinker to take a rest. And if I gave that up, I would be giving sobriety up. Or if I gave sobriety up, I'd be giving up my power in terms of my brain and my mind over matter. And that is not worth it. Even if I were to figure out one day that alcohol is good for you, or they came up with some glory drug where we could take it without effects, I would not want to give up the power that I have, irregardless, over my mind. Because if you're somebody that suffers from your mind, you suffer from this loudness and this talk. To be able to quiet that is a huge, and it's a fantastic feat. And it is rewarding past measure, because we are experiencing real, true, wholesome peace. And it might not feel like peace in the moment, but your brain is working a little bit on your side now. That's at least how I feel about it. And it gives me a lot of hope. And honestly, part of that might be that I've scared myself. I'm really scared, obviously, of relapse, clearly, as everyone is if you're an addict or alcoholic. And I've scared myself so much that I cannot think about it. Like, it would cause me I would almost feel like I was already relapsing, even romanticizing it. Under no measure should you be in your mind romanticizing alcohol, or thinking about what it's like, or thinking about if you were to be able to have it in that moment. I did a lot of that in the beginning. And it's really important that you change your mindset, you change up, because we're not relapsing that day, and we don't want to ruminate and think too much of what it's like. Because I've discussed before, who knows if relapse looks like that day for me, or it looks like 2 weeks later, honestly. Because I think and I measure, and I'm really good at tricking myself. Like, really good. And most of us are. And that's the danger of it in some ways, is we can just talk ourselves out of it. Time and time and time again, matter can win over mind in a heartbeat, in just one slip of the conscious. And that just absolutely baffles me, and it scares me to absolute bits and pieces. So you will not catch me sitting around thinking about liquor. I just can't. It scares the fuck out of me. And the name of this episode is 5 p.m. A lot of people, and I will say, I work at night. But 5 p.m. to me refers to any time period trigger that aligns you with your use. So it's more of an analogy. It doesn't have to be 5 p.m. It could be your 1 a.m. It could be your 10 a.m. Whatever that time of day is that you're reaping a reward from the day and gaining relaxation is what I mean by 5 p.m. And I will say, first and foremost, of course, I always had that 5 p.m. itch. Of course, I had my itches during the day. But I will say, for some reason, fairly quickly, the whole time period and needing to relax at 5 p.m. and what that looks like does slowly dissipate. At least I can say so for myself. Naturally, this started to happen. I thought I would be glued to the time period for the rest of my life, girl. When I tell you, I thought that I was going to have to be reliving 5 p.m. till the next morning forever. I did not think I was going to make it out of the absolute talons. And I can sit here and give advice on, and I guess I will a little bit, on different things you can do during that time, things that kind of helped me make that flip from now I don't have a time period that calls my name, yearning and asking for me to partake in something that I can't anymore. And the shitty part about 5 p.m. is that's right before bed. You only have not that many hours. And as an addict, as an alcoholic, sleep is not the best for us, but sleep is for the weak anyways. So who cares? Before we kind of touch on what I did, yada, yada, with 5 p.m., I do want to touch a little bit on the boredom factor of 5 p.m. Or the boredom factor of alcoholism and addiction. And I want to say parts of it obviously are boring. It's just the reality. But, and I've said this on TikTok, more importantly to me, what was actually boring was being an active addiction. It was being an active alcoholism. It's super fucking boring to have to get super fucked up to walk out of your door every day. It's really boring that you're tied to something and you're constantly taking gulps of liquor. You're constantly at a bar. You're constantly chasing a conversation, chasing a high, chasing a party. And the party's been over for a long time and you're just chasing it. That's what it feels like. And to me, that's what got boring. Now I can live my life on this new measure and I'm not tied to a time period. I'm not tied to drugs or alcohol to coax me through my life and help me during my day. And that's really not boring to me, because if somebody were to call me during acts of addiction at 2 p.m. to go do something, yeah, I'd love to go do it. But I need to go to the liquor store. I need to go get fucked up real quick, do whatever I need to do, then go. Oh no, girl, we're going now. Ugh, shit. Can we stop at the gas station on the way so I can chug a bunch of 5%ers because I don't have my liquor? I don't have chains now that confine me to this earth, that confine me to an experience. I can just go and I can just be, because I don't need something. And I think a lot of people think that boredom is the end of the world and is the end of life and is the end of everything that we know. And in reality, what's boring are the things that you want. And that sucks to realize in some ways, because I hate boredom and I want so much out of life, as most of us do. And to know that either way you look at it, you get boredom, kind of sucks, right? But it also brings a new hope and a reality that life itself has to be what's not boring. It can't be what we put on our body and what happens to us every day. And for me, a big motivator past 5 p.m. and a big motivator past the whole boredom situation we talked about is not being hungover. Hello. The day is new. The day is crisp. Maddie has not predetermined today for me. And that's how a lot of my days went. They're predetermined by Maddie at 4 a.m. last night. Maddie at 2 p.m. today doesn't get a lot of say in her life. That really sucked. That was really confining. That was really boring. And that really sucked. Today is new. Today is new, and it's never been seen before. And we can do anything with these hours of the day that we want. Anything. And I kind of wanted to touch on, I'm not sure if I live alone in this, but like the absolute mental gymnastics. Some days it's so easy and it doesn't look like that. And other days it feels like I have to take each step mindfully and gracefully and understand that this is just a tough day, and it's mentally a lot in that regard. Again, not to deter you, not to scare you, but for you to understand that other people get it, and a lot of other people get it, and that you don't have to lie like I have time and time again and act like this is easy, because it 100% is not. But what I do is have severe hope. And I look at the future and what I can gain and what it looks like after all this fighting. And when I don't feel good, when it's mental gymnastics day, I look at the future and I have hope. And I understand that this battle could be number 90 on a list of through 100 of the hardest times in my early sobriety. It could be 99. We don't know. It has to be mind over matter. And I just wanted to be honest about that and get it out. With that, I mentioned this before, as sober people now, we just have to go to these new lengths. It's just, we have to push a little bit harder, and like I just talked about in the relationship video, where we have to go a little bit more on a limb to meet these people. It also goes in terms of our freedom and in terms of our boredom. And I think we have to go on a limb, completely unafraid of failure is the main thing. Completely unafraid of being bored and of failure and of what that looks like, to find the things that ignite us and find the things that are our driving factor forward, that don't revolve around drugs and alcohol or any bad habit that is self-deprecating or harms others or whatever it is. And I think we have to be willing to fail to explore that. And I was really scared, because I was like, what if there's not anything that I like to do? And we talked about, we don't know ourselves. Oftentimes, I didn't, at least at the beginning of sobriety. And I'm like, I don't even know what she likes. Like, what if there's nothing out there? You have to have patience. There is. There's something that's meant for you. My mom, I put this on here. My mom would always say when I was younger that boredom shouldn't be in your vocabulary. And I think that's why I get a little itch when I hear the word boredom now, when I hear bored. My mom did not like us going up to her saying we're bored. You shouldn't be bored. You should find something to do. You have a brain, use it in a way. I love my mom for that. I think that's fun, but I also think that's why boredom bothers me. And why I don't like that sobriety and boredom are synonymous, because boredom is in fact a personal choice. I also thought I wasn't going to be funny anymore. I'm a really funny drunk. Wow, toot your own horn. Push comes to shove, I think I'm funnier now. Well, actually, I don't know. I was a really funny drunk, but I also showed my ass, made a fool of myself. And now I'm still witty and I'm still funny, and it's a huge part of my personality. Like we talked about laughter. I genuinely think that laughter is medicine, and I think you should use it the same. Laughter is medicine. Even if you don't have people around you, like put on funny shows, read funny shit, like look at funny videos on your phone. All the time I look up dog videos and stupid fucking videos and old Vine compilations, things to make me giggle, because I genuinely think laughter is the best medicine. I'm not sure what doctor did that, but he was a good doctor. It's also important to understand that you're not failing if you're not met with joy. Life has to like find this new purpose now, and it looks different person to person. Life has to have a new driving factor like we talked about, and here's what I think it is. I've held on to this feeling that I need to be happy for so long, and that is the most important, and that's what success looks like to me, is pure happiness. A lot of me, and I'm sure many people have a synonymous representation of what they think success, i.e. happiness, looks like. I think now I've grown into this new ideology that what if human existence is very much so based in pain? And that is exactly what we are meant to gain. And everything, every trial, every tribulation that we go through is also becoming synonymous with happiness. It's about experience, not about happiness. And I at least got the two kind of mixed up. In reality, I want to experience. I want to see everything, but I also, more importantly, want to feel everything, down to the pain, down to every moment and everything that happens to me, because that's who envelopes who we are. Your memories, who you are, isn't made of the person that jumped out of the plane. It's made of the person that lost her friend that day, or held her mother's hand while she passed, or whatever the case is. That's who you are. You're not the person that went to the birthday party last week. You're a product of simply your pain, for the most part. Some of your joy, but for the most part of your pain. Because if we think about our brain and the personality traits that a lot of us hold, it stems from pain, right? You're controlling. Okay, you are made that way because if you look back in your childhood, this happened to you that way and the other. So if we're meant to be searching for happiness, why wouldn't we be built on that? If we're searching to look for experience, maybe we're built on pain. And I don't know why I think that way. And part of me thinks because this human life must be unique. There would not be this much pain if it wasn't for a reason. It is very unique. And part of me wonders if we didn't choose to come here to have this human experience, knowing that we had just punched our card to one of the hardest existence that is current or whatever, right? And I don't want to run from pain anymore. And happiness isn't running from pain. And I have gotten the few, like I said, mixed up time and time again. And in some ways, in a weird way, wouldn't that make some of the greatest joys in life pain? Like, mad emo of me to say, mad emo. And I don't even know if this makes sense to you. But in turn, wouldn't that be the case now? But you aren't failing if you aren't met with joy. You're being built. And I do a lot of chasing feelings as someone who falls in love with feelings, which is a base point of my personal addiction and my personal alcoholism, is chasing that feeling. I like to chase memories, and certain moments in my life, in my core memory, a little thing like Inside Out, I chase them and I want them. And in turn, it's escapism. And I chase these things for happiness, for this peace, for this experience. So I may enjoy what I think to be a sober, happy life. And I'm met again with the pain of it. And the fact that I am trying to fit this life into this new brain. And it's not fair to me, and it hurts me. because my memories are now indicative of who I am as this person, not the person I was when I was going through all that. And I'm building this new life and I'm chasing these new memories, and I get fixated on it, thinking this is the driving force. This is what I will look back to on my deathbed. And it's just not the case. And it causes this weird escapism thing within myself. And escapism for me is very dangerous because I get lost in it. And it was a driving factor of my addiction, like I said. And it is not good for me to live in an escapism place. Just in that moment, attempting to fit myself back into the box of her, even though I'm chasing something good. And I think we are so trippy for that. Our brains are so trippy. Whatever that reason is for me was built through an experience, and it now resides in me in a very real way that occurs and knocks on my door every day. And that is something that happened to me that I cannot pinpoint. Something that happened to me a very, very, very long time ago. And that's very interesting to me. What we're made of comes to light at 5 p.m. Those defects, the reason that you're craving, the monster of craving comes out at 5 p.m. And that's who we see. And it's really hard to knock past that. But it's another learning opportunity because it's like the truth is coming to light and we can kind of see reasons and we kind of can see as to why. And we kind of can see why this feeling might trigger me more towards liquor than a different feeling, even if they're pretty similar or whatever the case is. And we do a lot of trickery. And 5 p.m. is what we're made of. Synonymous with our building. Every 5 p.m. is like 100-pound weight on your back. Slowly, after a lot of 5 p.m.s, you can lift that bitch with ease. All of a sudden, you can just lift that bitch, throw it right over your fucking back. And that is where we are made. And so for me, I know a lot of my really hard nights and a lot of my really hard craving days, I had to view as 100-pound weight. And as a mind over matter, this at some point, it has to pay off. And again, I think it might be that hope core in me. And I think hope is a really important thing to have as a placebo factor, whether you're going to obtain that or whether you're not. I still held out hope with no proof, no indication that that feeling may actually leave, that the craving may not exist one day at 5 p.m. Still drove me with hope in me that it would be gone one day with the help of myself and of my higher power on the same team. This has got to be gone. One day it will, but I have to be willing to put in the work for that. And I have to be willing to make a full understanding of the sacrifice of my own personal comfort. And that is a huge thing. That is what we are doing. We are sacrificing our comfort. And people say in the program a lot, like the comfort and being uncomfortable. And it's real. But sacrificing your comfort is detrimental. That's what we're doing. And that's what's really stripping us naked. We're so used to comfort, and not having that is alienating, and it makes you feel like a child that has been dropped off at a firehouse with no parents. That's what it makes you feel like. And it's just the most uncomfortable thing, but it's what we're made of. And in turn, the gift of strength that will fill you completely is you'll find worth it, to me, at least. And I think you will find that too. And the fun thing, I think, a really fun fact about happiness is that it is already there. Happiness is up to us. It already exists. It is already there. It does not become bigger. It does not become smaller. It exists. We, in turn, choose almost how happy we are. In a lot of ways, we choose that. It's perspective, and it's how we see life. We get to choose how blessed we are. We get to choose how happy we are, and we get to choose how strong we are. And I think people think these are gifts that we're born with or we're not, but we're made into that, and we do choose that. And I do think this is kind of random in my notes, but people tell me I'm very emotional. I make a very intense podcast. Watching some of my episodes, I'm like, I know sober people just do not, normal people don't understand where I'm coming from because I sound very intense. I'm very emotional and very crazy. But it's important I'm this way because if I'm not analyzing myself to this level, if I'm not working towards something to this level and I'm not this intense and purposeful with what I say, I lose. And I have to stay on 10 or I slip because it's not the exterior that's wrong with me. It's not the environment I'm in. It's not whatever. It's literally me and my thoughts. And it takes one wrong slip. At least I know within myself. So I'm over emotional now and I get shit out because I have no choice. Once I came to term with the new emotional factor and that keeping tabs on my day and where I am emotionally helped because it gave me a new purpose to my night and a new purpose to 5 p.m. And it's almost like redoing a morning routine. And then our night is super romanticized and super important. And it's for emotions and it's for getting them out. It's for handling them or writing them on paper or whatever the hell you do to yourself. That helped me because, and I think that's where I lost the 5 p.m. craving because now 5 p.m. I'll be like, oh, and again, metaphorical 5 p.m. So whenever I need that relaxation, whenever I need that moment, it's, okay, now I can go talk about my emotions. I can get this shit fucking off my chest and I can do a beautiful night routine, set my candle, watch whatever show I want to watch, read whatever book, get out my emotions, meditate, stretch, do a lovely routine for my skin and my hair, have my nice cookies, do whatever. And that's kind of an obvious thing, but it wasn't to me at first. And I wish somebody would have said, why don't you just do a night routine like you do a day routine? Because now the opening of my day and the end of my day are like my favorite parts sometimes. Like if I'm in the middle of my day, I'm like, I cannot wait to get to the fucking time that I wash my face and put on my weird $50 serum tonight. Damn good. That's happiness. That for real. That $50 cream worth every dollar to me. Oh, and this is a fun one too. So yada yada. You can go to a poetry class or poetry. You can go to a pottery class. You can go do whatever the hell you want to do with your time. Go try yoga, go fishing, see if you like art, do a bunch of fun different hobbies. But while looking for those and already being kind of exhausted and not knowing where to start or wanting to deal with failure again, I think was a big part for me is dealing with another failure. I really like topics. I'm very curious. Like one of my favorite topics, FLDS, girl, them Mormons, something about them just gets my brain itching. I'm on it, bitch. Like, let me see the Mormons and I'm fixed. I feel better. Like, bro. And there's so many random topics that I have like that. You have them too. I know you do. Like, y'all be loving World War II. I know you're so intrigued by Auschwitz. Like, and that was not meant whatsoever in a bad way. We all know we're intrigued by that because it's fucking so fucked up and mind-boggling that even happened at some point in time. Like, what? The fact the Holocaust even existed is so insane that we all I feel like a lot of us have that as a topic trigger. But I really like getting into my topics during early sobriety. A lot of mine involve space, life after death, history, environment, and weird religions and cults. But a lot of it was space. I did a lot of watching space movies. Interstellar, I watched like 3 times probably. That is the best movie of all time. That is my favorite movie. Pretty close to The Hunger Games. But I don't know if that helps you. I don't know if I'm autistic or what it is. But if you don't have it in you to go find a new fucking hobby while you're trying to get sober, Google the things that you love. And then slowly like Curious George the fuck out of your life. Like go get a library card and go to the library or look up your shit, however you do it, and dive into that weird subject. And then you'll look up 7 hours later invigorated and being like, what's happened? And 5 p.m.'s gone. And now you know a bunch of cool shit that you didn't know beforehand. And now you might have even fallen into a new topic and it's something new to enlighten your day. So I think as a freak, topics were a fun one for me. And I think another thing too is to remember that you're not killing her. You are not eliminating her from the surface of the earth. And I felt like I was killing Maddee. I thought I was killing her, but you're not killing her. You're providing her with this new life, and not looking back so often does become easier. And the question of, is this real? Did I kill her? Am I an alcoholic? Am I an addict? Do I ever get her back? Did I make this life-changing decision? It goes away and it melts away because you are becoming that new girl, and you slowly are realizing, I didn't kill her. I'm providing her with this beautiful life. At least for me, a lot of it had to go with the death of this past self and the huge symbolism that rested in that, at least. And you aren't now eliminating, not only are you not killing her, you are not eliminating the possibility of a happy life. That is not being eliminated now. I thought maybe I would eventually find peace in this sobriety, but that the ideal of complete happiness and peace could not exist without alcohol. If I was getting that, then wouldn't that involve my favorite thing in the world, tequila? Like what? And you are not eliminating that, and you will grow to find that, but that's not real. And if you're thinking that way, just know that it isn't real, and you aren't eliminating it. You aren't killing her. And yeah, I do think that there are some things that get even harder when we get sober. And that's a beautiful thing, because it's almost like we're being trusted and that we have enough in us that we're being given more responsibility. It's kind of like at a job. You see someone's doing good, and now they're getting a new opportunity, which involves more responsibility. Kind of similar with sobriety in some ways. Because not being present hurts a lot more now, because you're not getting anything out of it. Not being present before, while you're itching for the liquor while your friend is talking, it's like, whatever, bitch, I'm getting to my liquor. Now that we're not so self-functioning and we're not like that, if we're out of our body, we're out of our mind in that moment, it hurts more, at least for me, because it's an indicator that my brain isn't as healthy as I think sometimes, or whatever. And again, I think in those dramatic ways. Obviously, that's not an indicator of my brain not being healthier, but I just think in these dramatic ways. And I'm trying to break the fourth wall so you can kind of see into where I'm coming from. And I think it's hard because she, the part of Maddee, the subconscious people talk about when I refer to her, she's awake all the time, and she is yapping her ass off. She does not shut the fuck up. And I think that's hard. That means that I have a new responsibility on my plate. That means that now mental health is going to have to be one of the most important parts of me, and one of the most important things that I have to do, because she is yapping and she is talking, and she can take full control any second if I let her. But it's kind of cool now because I'm given that responsibility to even be able to think that way, even be able to shut her up or try to work with her, get her to a place where we can be peaceful for a few hours or whatever it is. And again, it's working with self. And that's what a lot of sobriety looks like. Priority or our focus is now on the baseball field, even though we're sober, is not something that we want to do. And that's when we are killing her, actually. That's when she is dying. Not when she's chattering, but when we're focused on the baseball field and we're focused on the craving and we just can't shake it. And that's where she loses power. And, you know, that's just life, because she does die. And it was all a facade. And the whole time, that girl that you're fighting for, what you think you want, was a facade. And the girl that you want is being born and born over and over every day, and being built every day into something new. And to me, life has so many endless facades, and in my brain, so many endless facades, so much comparison, so much insecurity and uncertainty of rational, like I just can't be rational sometimes. And I find that difficult. I find it difficult. I find the facades difficult to get over. But now it is much easier because of meditation, because of training my brain, that half the time when I see things, when I'm overthinking, when I'm comparing whatever, it's a facade, bitch. This shit ain't real. It ain't real. The cravings, the triggers, all of it, it's a fucking facade. It's a whole game that I've made up after 25 years that I can't even win. I made up this game. I made the rules. I made all that shit and I still can't get over it. I'm still stuck in these fucking chains of this bullshit, of my own addiction, of my own actions. Like, how the fuck? And I can't get lost in it. But you know what, girl? That's life, queen. That's life. And we just have to get to the bottom of shit that other people don't have to get to the bottom of. And you know what, girl? Buckle in, because you got some crafting to do. You got some youth to bring out of you. You got some dancing to do. You got some laughter to do. You got some shit to read. You got stuff to do. And now, to me, at least one of the benefits is that life is about that. Life is about enriching myself and finding things engaging, not forcing it. And I think that's the hard part, because we think that these new hobbies, this new stuff, is we're forcing ourselves to engage and to like it. And that's where a lot of people get scared. And what the issue is, we don't have to. Things will engage us. Things will entice us sober. They fall into our lap. And we don't actually have to force them. And it might be harder, and it might look like a ton of days watching TV in your room for that to hit. But yeah. Okay. And now I will say a few. What time are we on? We're probably past an hour now. I didn't even start, of course. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about a few tips I have for the 5 p.m. crafts, the 5 p.m. funsies, so you don't pick up your good ex-friend liquor or Coke. One thing for me was, even if I'm watching TV, using my hands. We've talked about the depression. If I am rotting, there is depression occurring in my body. I've spoke about it before. It just happened. I get stuck in front of this TV in a trance, but I'm actually so fucking hurt, and I'm not pleased. I'm not relaxing sitting there. I am just forcing myself to spend time fucking doing something when I'm bored. So using my hands to not get in that state while just relaxing is important. Again, this is a personal recipe in how my brain works, but like painting or painting. I don't really do much else with my hands. Painting, clay things. This is what I mean by the youth and the fun in it. The little things that you really liked as a kid. So like, I really like taking notes and then highlighting them and having like a perfect paper. So weird. But I would rewrite maybe even step work. It would just be the most random things. And I would be so satisfied. And I feel great. I feel invigorated. My highlighter has bleached through that paper and I feel fantastic. I feel great, girl. And now we're moving on to the FLDS, because what else is here to entice me? I'm fucking hungry. I'm hungry for life. I'm hungry for these weird fucking things that I enjoy. Weirdest shit that I enjoy. Go ahead, girl. And our brain can now kind of see that. So at least for me, working with my hands helped. And of course, we can talk about new topics. So another one, if you don't want to go find a pottery place, don't want to spend a bunch of money, obviously books, cooking. Not everyone likes cooking. I really like cooking. I think it's fun. And another one, trying new makeup looks. You got free time. I love doing makeup. I like trying new makeup products. In the beginning, I didn't care how much time I was spending, so I would just buy a bunch of new makeup and try it. It was fun. It kept me busy, and it kept me from thinking about liquor. It kept me from craving it during those hours, and put on some music or a good reality TV show and get lost in the world of being a hot girl, doing hot shit, you know? Got Meg playing in the back and fucking somebody on the TV screaming at her sister like a Kardashian or something. Just ignites me, bitch. Like, that's when I feel. And I think what helped too is not keeping anything about your routine remotely familiar. A lot of things we have to keep familiar, like your drive to work or how you pack your bag for work or certain things. But for the most part, a routine cannot look remotely like it did in our last life, because our body is super automated, and we have to unautomate it. And new tricks, new weird things in your schedule that require a little more attention to that detail, or that weird time of the day where you might have drank before, you might have used before. It's helpful. Because now you have something you got to focus on. Oh, I do this now. Shit, I almost forgot. Okay, get out of the brain. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, I got to do it this way now. You know, you can fall back in love with life. You will. You will see things the way that you used to, the way that you're hopeful of, the girl that you thought you murdered. That perspective, that part of life does come back, and it does find you, but it takes a second to catch up. And it's all about just getting through the fucking day. It's just about 24 hours at a time. I think relaxation is like synonymous with regulation. And we're very dependent on relaxation. And maybe it has to do with the workforce and the way life moves now. But relaxation holds such a huge piece of our life, because we only get so much time to survive. I feel like, outside of bills and work and stress and like everything, we only get this much room for relaxation. Some people don't even have room for relaxation. And I think for some reason that has skewed relaxation into this weird, fucked up place where relaxation can end people. At least that's for me personally. Like, relaxation is my downfall, because it is now I have now created a weird place of release and of getting things out that are not at all conducive and not at all healthy. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But relaxation can be from meditation, from a relaxing environment, and from peace. Like the way that they say relaxation should actually look, it can start to feel naturally that way to you if you've created a weird atmosphere for relaxation in your life. I don't know if that's a strange way to put it, but it's a trigger. Relaxation is a big trigger, I think, for a lot of sober people for that reason. And because we don't really get relaxation at all in addiction whatsoever. It just doesn't exist. And to change your perspective on relaxation and to view it as a different entity than we used to me is very, very, very important. And now when I think of relaxation, I do yearn for just peace. I can feel myself in the bed, writing, meditating, whatever, and watching my program, like my father would say, or reading my book. And by book, I use that term loosely. I mean the Hunger Games. Or like Divergent or some shit like that. So like, I ain't out here reading books for real. I am though. I am enthralled. I am right now, y'all, in the midst of the biggest Hunger Games fucking fascination. I can't even begin to describe to you. If you understand where I'm coming from, you're a special person, and I need you to reach out to me. Because, girl, I fucking love it. Like, and I'll be going to Divergent next. The Hunger Games is probably one of the best. It is the best book, best series written in all of time. Suzanne Collins, you're incredible. And I was gonna talk a lot about the Hunger Games and see if any of you guys related to me. But, you know, I think the Hunger Games it's an experience for individually. It's an experience individually. But it is like my family. I'm just going to embarrass myself. Oh, I can tell you all. So obsessed with it, right? The other day, I was reading the first one as soon as I got done. I'm now on Catching Fire, but I watched the first movie. And I watched it kind of split up because I would pay $1 trillion to watch the series for the first time. I would give my child too far. I'm going to be an aunt tomorrow. Need to calm down. But I would give a lot to see that for the first time. So anyways, watching the movie, and I get in the car to go to work, and the autism is itching. Katniss Everdeen is itching at my brain. I cannot stop Katniss Everdeen. Cannot stop. Caesar Flickerman just in my brain, girl. Anyways, so I'm like, let me try to find a podcast where someone's got to be talking about this, right? There's got to be someone out there that's obsessed with it like I am and talks about some fun details or something I haven't thought about, something I don't know about, right? Because I've read in between every line that could possibly exist in this damn series. Every line in between I've read, symbolism, whatever it looks like, the annotations for this piece of literature are astronomical for me. Click on this podcast. Finally find one after like 5 minutes of scrolling. It's a child. A child starts speaking. A literal child. And he's like, welcome. This is the Hunger Games podcast. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I literally was like, I got humbled so quick. I was like, I turned on fucking Milky Chance or whatever the hell. I was like, girl, this is embarrassing. I don't even know why I was talking about that. Maybe because you see my weird fascinations. It makes my life fun though. There's no harm in it. I'm not hurting anybody. I still spend time doing other stuff. I'm not crazy. I don't think that I'm in Pan Am, even though I wish I was in Pan Am. Love you, Pan Am. Love you, Pan Am. I'm honestly a resident of Pan Am. Like, if I was in a district, what district would I be? I'd have to be 12 because I have to meet Katniss because we're besties in another life. But I couldn't be too close to her because I want Gale. Like, I don't know about y'all. Like, fuck Peeta, bitch. I want Gale. I want Gale bad. Bad. So, I don't know if I can be friends with Katniss because I'm finna take Gale. Sorry, queen. You can have Peeta, though. You think she would mind? Because, honestly, we just need a threat. I can just tell President Snow to threaten in the right place, and then I can have Gale. So, what district would I go to? I feel like I'm in the middle because I think I'm a capital bitch, right? I think I'm that bitch. But in reality, I feel like sometimes I'm more towards the middle. You know, and not to downplay myself, but just what I think. I'm thinking like maybe like a 3 or 4. And you know what? I got to stop talking about the Hunger Games. You know what? I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But I'm still talking about it. Finnick Odair in Catching Fire is written as this most beautiful, handsome man. The most beautiful, actually, that Suzanne describes any character. Gale is the hottest piece of meat on the market, bitch. Finnick with his damn buck teeth and his sugar cubes. Hit it. Get the fuck out. Hit the curb, queen. Or what are those? Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Finnick. You're not even cute like that, for real. In the movie. See? That's hateful. But it's not that the guy's not cute. Like, sure. But as Finnick, like, you should have put Gale as Finnick. Because Gale is the hottest man to ever walk the planet. Was that Liam Hemsworth? Oh. Maybe I'm just a big fan of Liam Hemsworth. If you guys want to watch a movie too that's fun, you should watch The Passenger. If you also really like space like me, and because it has Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt in it, it's so good. Sorry. That was weird. That was weird. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, so back to the relaxation. Are we relaxing or are we just trying to utilize the day? Are you trying to utilize the hours after your shift to enjoy life and have fun and scroll or do whatever you do? Are we utilizing the hours in the day? Are we actually relaxing? Or are we distracting ourselves from the fact that we have to go back tomorrow? Sorry about my mic. I'm putting my face in a weird place. But really, what is relaxation to you? To me, at different times, it's been a mix of all of these. It's been a mix of distracting myself from the pain of the fact that I just go back tomorrow and the relaxation was a facade and it wasn't real in the first place because I have to do it again tomorrow. That was a big one. Also, utilizing the day. If I get off late at night, I only have this many hours where I get to enjoy and see certain things, and I want to hang on to this day. I don't want to let it go already and then go back tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? And maybe this is just something my eyes have been opened to this world of relaxation because I struggled so much in it, and it took me so long to pinpoint that as a huge issue in my life. But something about relaxation, right? There's something about it, girl. You get it. Fun can be had. But relaxation is tricky Fun is not the hard part. And I want you to remember that in sobriety, that it's not actually fun being the hard part. I think it's more so relaxation and settling into life is the hard part. Not going out with your friends and having a good time. And I think I mixed up that place and I become paralyzed by all of these options in the world. And how am I supposed to get this out in the right way? Am I doing this right? What the fuck? Right? What the fuck? And I'm big on treats. Like to treat yourself, girl, and lots of hot beverages. I cannot tell you how many glasses of hot water with lemon I have during my day or at work. The regulation it gives me. The regulation a nice hot bevy gives me. A nice treat. Like I've said before, I never thought I'd be in a place where getting a coffee gives me that much endorphin. You know what I'm trying to say. Dopamine. So yeah, treats. Realigning your source of dopamine and recognizing what makes you the most excited, what gives you the most. For me, a nice craft millennial coffee place hits it right on the head. A nice checkout at Target. Boom. Hits me right on the head. And actually, I have fucked myself in the department of shopping and of retail therapy because I hate consumerism. And we've talked about how I do Pan Project, which is like, I don't buy new makeup anymore. I don't buy things unless I'm out. And I fucked my thinking with this because I don't actually gain that much from shopping anymore, which sucks. Sometimes I just feel bad about it, even if I need it, because of the whole consumerism thing. So I feel like I fucked myself. But if you like shopping, it's better than fucking drinking, especially in early stages. After a while, you'll start to see that this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I can't healthily live my life with this new addiction or this new output. But there's so many little things. Like I had probably a decent food addiction in some ways. And food is another thing that follows me as a struggle in life. But when I first got sober, girl, the amount of fucking Doritos I ate is astronomical. So it's fine. You're straight. And I think too, filling the day is important. And making sure that I'm really fucking tired, like not taking naps, just going and doing like all day and not taking naps and trying to tire myself out helps because our life revolves around that rest. And when the rest is tainted, the relaxation is tainted, it's fucked. The whole thing is just like a hop and a leap away from a relapse to me. And I think I romanticize on, you know, one day we were at a point where we just flowed with the wind and we were pleased and we were happy. And that time existed. I think you can think back to your time when that was real. For me, I look back a lot to certain high school days where before my life was so tainted with so many things and I had my own problems, but I was much more a part of the wind and I was much more, this is life and I will be taken here and I will be taken here, but what matters is inside. And I think we all have those days that we can think back to and it fills me with hope. It's like a project. I'm getting back to that. And hopefully I can. Hopefully my baseball field will let me, like, I need the baseball field smaller. And I think maybe that's the goal that we're really all looking for here. Because that baseball field causes a lot of emotional turmoil in us. And we don't see it as an issue. But it causes a lot. And I wish we were more open about it. And I can see why people aren't now. Because it's hard to illustrate that in a way that doesn't deter people or make them afraid, but instead invigorates them and makes them excited for this new path. So I can see why certain things aren't talked about because it's hard. But I just wanted to, because I don't want my baseball field to be the what is it? The reason for my downfall, I guess. I don't want my baseball field to be the reason for my downfall. I don't want it to be the thing that defeats me. And so I find the baseball field very interesting in my brain. And I find that it takes up a lot of space. But I have to work around that and I have to have hope. And I have to know that who Maddee is not the baseball field. Maddee is the rest of me. And it doesn't really have anything to do with that baseball field anymore. So that's it. I hope that was okay. I'm still really excited about the baby and I can't stop thinking about it. But wow, that's it. Again, didn't mean to scare you if I did. You will find things. And if you're a weirdo who likes strange topics, please drop some that you like, or I will share some of mine to fill your day, because Google is my best friend and Google gives me life. Anyways, mocktails too, I guess. Mocktails are bullshit, you guys. They're asking you to pay $13 for a cup of fucking juice. Get a Diet Coke with a lime on top. You know? Get coffee. Get a hot tea. Mocktails are bullshit, I think. So I'm not big on the mocktail world, you guys. It's hard for me. I'm not paying $13 for that shit. Tracy, I'm not paying it to you, Susan. It's just not happening. Well, I hope 5 p.m. it does become better for you. And I hope the beginning gave you hope where I said it does go away, because it does. So that's all. Next time you see me, I'm an ant. I will be an ant. Okay. I love you guys. Have a good week. Bye.